Hi, I'm Sam, welcome. Um, I'm simultaneously absolutely certain as to why I want to start this channel and why I want to talk and why I feel like I have things to share and to say, but I'm also simultaneously completely unsure of where this will land or if it will land at all for anyone. When I've been feeling into it for a long time, and it's weird to feel the experience of becoming the person who has the answers to the questions that have been unanswerable for so long. Or at least that's the experience, that's the feeling that I've had. It's the there's been such a stuckness in my life, such a sensation of such a colossal stuckness, whereby it feels like everything is out of my control or is just inevitably destined to be stagnant. So I think for me that's where I want to start. And I want to speak about that because to me that's a really personal thing, and that's a really personal experience that I've had spent a lot of time in a way that to begin with felt like it wasn't my choice, it wasn't my doing, it was nothing to do with the actual reality of my experience. Like, it was nothing to do with me, it was something that happened to me that I couldn't control. When really, like, looking at it now, I'm kind of understanding and I'm kind of seeing so much in terms of the experience of relating to myself in a way that meant that there was no way I could have the autonomy or the utility or the opportunity to risk trying and getting it wrong, because failure is such a problem, or it felt like such a problem, when ultimately it was the only way to learn the lessons. And I think that's something that a lot of people never realize or never reach, is that, like, it's this experience of if I don't fail enough, then I don't have to feel the consequences of failure. I don't have to feel the shame or the guilt, or the inadequacy of failure. And obviously, depending on who you are, like, kind of determines what that sensation is like and how much that sensation is like. And it's also relative to the scale of your success or failure. But it's really interesting, because the more you kind of sit with that experience of I've done this and it's gone this well or this badly, therefore my belief system dictates that I have to feel this, and this is going to be therefore my experience in my life. The longer you sit with that, the more chance you get to examine it and understand that the more you are aware of the conversation you're having with yourself, the more you get to choose the experience of it. And this isn't a solution, this is just an observation. Because I've been so incredibly committed to my, like, decisions and my meaning assignments in relation to what it means if I fail at something, or if I don't succeed, or if I get something wrong. I've had such like immense conviction in, if I fail it means this about me. And again, the like I say about the internal conversation, like the inner dialogue that you have with yourself, that was an interesting one that my mind tried to dodge for me a lot of the time, because I could always like, I always had the experience that I wasn't thinking in words. So the emotional experience, or my experience and my perspective, was that it's not that my mind was telling myself things that meant I had to feel this way, or that meant that I was therefore wrong or bad or should be ashamed of myself. It was just like this. It was entirely like a sensation. The mind wasn't saying words to me when I felt like a failure, when I felt like I had failed. There was just this kind of this cloud that comes over, and it's like the mind is applying that cloud. The mind is going, this is for you now. Yeah. And then the growth was understanding that it's only for me if I choose it, or if I don't find something else that is me as well. And I failed a lot. I failed a lot at a lot of things, and that's no qualification, because, like, again, in this day and age, in this world of self-help and relationship stuff, and everyone being a life coach, is like there's this experience whereby constantly you're being told what's right and what's wrong, and what works and what doesn't, and why, and this and that and the other, and ultimately I think there's a point to which we need to realize that collectively we cannot guide other people, because we don't know what their experience is like within themselves. We don't know what the way they relate to their mind is. We don't know what the way they relate to their body is. We don't know the way that they relate to their emotions. And we can speak for our own personal experience, and that might find resonance somewhere, which is why I've kind of started this channel, and why I'm interested in having these conversations with people. But it's not for me to start spouting off about what I believe in, and therefore what I reckon is true, and that we should all do the same thing, or we should all, practice certain things because that's what's right. When I think that the dangerous thing to do is to believe that what you think is right, to believe that what you think is the way, to believe that you know something. When ultimately I feel like, from my experience certainly, the more I feel like I know something, or the more I feel like I understand something, the more I feel like I don't know anything. And I think that, again, can't speak for your experience, but for me that's what's more true. It's this experience that the more I feel like I know, the more that I feel like I understand, the more time I spend like contemplating on something, the more I'm kind of like, there is no guidance for another person. It's to understand how you can relate to someone in a way that enables them to guide themselves, if that's even possible. And that's the experiment. That's where you kind of go, well, hang on, is there value in relating to this person, or is there not? Can they provide something? Can they provide a perspective that means that I can then relate to it and find something within myself that I was not finding before, or I was telling myself a story about that prevented me from accessing it before. So yeah, I had a lot of reservations about talking about like this kind of stuff, mostly because it's not that I don't feel like I know something, and it's not that I don't feel like I am qualified by my own experience in terms of understanding, but it's that thing of is this useful to someone? Is it valuable to someone? And if so, why? Yeah, why?